All right, first, can you just talk to me a little bit about this matchup? What do you think of it? What were your first thoughts when you were offered it?
Yeah, this has been a match that I've been preparing for a long time. Me and Nicky Rod, we both kind of came onto the scene at the same time. We've been in the same bracket multiple times, been offered matches in the past, so it's a match I knew I was going to have one day, and now the day's finally here.
Did you anticipate this was going to be your next matchup? I know we talked about a couple different people you thought maybe you'd fight next. Was he the one that you thought was the most likely?
Yeah, even when we were waiting for the Gordon match, it was a name that came up many times, and we even kind of told the UFC, like after we get the match with Gordon, that would be, a possible opponent for us. We just wanted to get the match with Gordon first, but with that being said, that match is gone. I've had the match against Pedro, so it felt like it was the right time for Nicky Rod.
What are his strengths and weaknesses that you've seen that you maybe will be able to capitalize on and maybe try to avoid?
Yeah, obviously, his athleticism is definitely his biggest strength. He's a big, strong dude, and he's very mobile. He's fast, super explosive, and he also he doesn't quit. Like, you never really see him get broken when he competes. And a lot of the bigger guys, especially, like sometimes at the end of the match, like the last few minutes, they'll kind of just like die because they'll just get tired and kind of break. And we've never seen Nicky Rod break. When he loses, he either gets caught in something or he loses a really close, tightly contested match. So no matter what, it's going to be a tough match. I'm not expecting to go there and hit like an easy submission or just dominate him. It's going to be a really tough match. It's going to be back and forth. But I think that I possess the skills to come on top.
Are you seeing a submission at some point, or do you feel like this is going to go to the end?
Yeah, I'm always looking for the submission, and I do think there's going to be a couple opportunities there to attack with submission. So we obviously game plan for the submission. That's the goal. If it goes to decision, I'm probably going to win off submission attempts.
What about, you mentioned game plan. Obviously you have some experience in MMA. When you're sitting down and looking at a game plan, not the physical, obviously training for an MMA fight is different than training for a jiu-jitsu fight, but what about game planning? How different is a game plan when you're looking at an MMA fight versus jiu-jitsu? Is it harder to kind of find a plan when it's jiu-jitsu because there are less options?
Similar. Yeah, it's very similar in this setting because this is like a super fight, so it's one match. So it's very similar to game planning for an MMA fight. The hardest thing is when you're in a bracket with 16 guys, then you can't really game plan for each individual guy. It's going to be a lot more difficult. So yeah, we do, when we have the singles matches, we do game plan quite a bit.
Do you prefer this type of like a super fight where it's just one because I know you did the bracket at one point. Does it feel better to like go in and say I beat like 6 guys in one night versus like one really good guy at the end of the night? How does that feel? What's the feeling like at the end of the night for that?
Yeah, of course, like one match is better because when it's over, it's like it's over, right? And whenever you do any type of tournament setting, you finish the match, then you're like, oh my God, I gotta go do that again and again and however many times until the bracket's done, right? So I would say it's a more enjoyable experience because it's short and sweet. You get in and get out. But at the end of the day, it is fun too to have the multiple matches. You can make a nice highlight reel afterwards. So I like both settings, but yeah, I like them both.
At the end of this match, you're gonna rip your shirt off like he does?
Definitely not taking my shirt off anywhere around him because he's just gonna make me look like shit. So I'm keeping my shirt on. Hopefully, it's gonna be my jiu-jitsu that looks better than his, because my body will never look better than his.
You mentioned Gordon already. He's retired. I don't know how you want to call it, but
semi-retired.
Yeah. Has there been any updates at all on your end that you've heard if he may be coming out of that semi-retirement, or?
No, nothing. So at this point, I'm just worried about what I'm going to do because nothing's changed from what I know.
And have you had a chance to kind of think about who you want to fight next, or is that something you don't want to think about yet? You'll maybe announce that on the map.
Yeah, well, next will be the ADCC tournament, right? Fight Pass isn't going to have an event until after the ADCC tournament. So, after this match, hopefully I can get a big win over Nicky Rod, who's a 2-time silver medalist in ADCC, and take that momentum into ADCC. And I would say for the next opponent, we have to see the results of that tournament. we would have to see what happens in that tournament, and then we can kind of look at the matchmaking afterwards.
And the last question, do you have anybody on the card, any other matchup that you're really excited to watch or see the results of?
Of course, Money Moicano there. I'm a big fan of him, and so it's awesome to have him on the card. It's just going to bring more eyeballs to the sport. He's a big rising star in the UFC, so I'm excited for that match. And then also, Kainan and Luke Griffith is going to be a good match. J-Rod and John Atasa is going to be a good match as well. They're all good matches, but those are a couple of the ones I'm the most excited for.
Thank you.
Thank you.